Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Monsters Thanksgiving Day podcast. And that was a beat down. The Lions had no shot in the third quarter. I was totally wrong. I really thought that they were gonna come back out and it's Thanksgiving. Just try to find some motivation. Your season's not going so well, and then you came out and just completely were flat. Houston was ready to go in the second half. They were airing it out. They were just beating them everywhere, to be honest with you. And it ended up being the final score of 41-25, the Houston Texans over the Detroit Lions. Oh, man, that was a beatdown late in the game, dude.
Man, you're not kidding. My DraftKings is looking ugly. But I mean, I still have a couple coming up. I went heavy on Dallas. I went heavy on Dallas. So let's hope that's a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, the Lions are who we thought they were. To borrow a line from a coach, some of y'all might know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like that. I feel like the Patricia program is over.
It's done. It's done. I was gonna say
it's gotta
just
be over. It's gotta be over.
It looks so bad. Like the guy, like they didn't look like they want to be out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, at a certain point, they looked like they didn't want to be out there. Armando Lara Jr. Watts what a game. Yeah, Watt had a hell of a game.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, couldn't ask for it.
Hell of a game. He was everywhere. Like they Romeo Crennel moved him in different spots, and he was just wreaking havoc. The problem is that there was no push. Like I said, there was no push from Detroit. Like it looked like the turnovers finally caught up to them. They weren't able to get over the hump. It just looked ugly, and I'm sure that team didn't expect to get blown out in the second half of this game, just like I didn't expect them to get blown out in the second half of this game. Yeah,
no, I mean it's just Detroit, man. I mean, that's all you can say. It's Detroit. I feel like in that first half, Adrian Peterson's he's out there, he's hungry, he's already got 2 TDs. Let's get this dude going. Like let's get him going, get him amped up.
Should have kept feeding him.
Hey, exactly, because when Adrian Peterson starts feeling it, like he feels like, okay, I can still do this. Adrian Peterson can work some wonders. You'd be surprised that he may be an old cat, but hey, when you start juicing that dude up and getting him going and getting him that contact, he seems to thrive. And then, like I said, the passing game was just ugly. They had a good little drive there at the end or towards the end, whatever it was. But I mean, if you watch this game, you didn't know nothing about football. You think the Houston Texans are going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, no, there's no way.
We know that's not true. Look,
both defenses were bad, but and I know Detroit's down. A couple guys are down their rookie corner. Was it Okuda? Mm-hmm. And they're down a couple other guys in that secondary, but that does not. You were just getting beat up and down the field, like flat out. You were just getting beat. Those guys all the time. Those guys open everywhere, all over the field. Deshaun Watson, you got to give him credit, all the credit in the world. He was in the first half. I thought he was getting hit way too much.
Yeah,
he hung in there. They hung in with the game plan, and he delivered. He had what was his final stats: 17 of 25, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? How efficient is that? Like it's efficient, and he kicked your ass over the top.
Yeah. Man, I mean, it's Houston, man. I mean, we got the coaching change. They got Crennel up there, which you're obviously starting to see that the Belichick tree does not branch off. It doesn't have as many roots as the Reed tree. Romeo's had his shot, a bunch of different places. Props to the Texans for winning today. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from him about that. But he's not. I don't think he's your guy going forward.
No.
I would love to have him as a coordinator or some aspect of coaching because he's got a great mind. He's got a great mind. Like, I love Romeo Crennel. But I mean, like I said, you look good against the Detroit Lions. I mean, everybody else does too. So, and I'm starting to come around to the fact that, and everybody needs to start addressing this. They need to put an H after the W in JJ Watt's name and start calling him JJ Watt, because Yeah, he got the little Olay. Looked like, like you said earlier in the halftime, looked like it was kind of scripted. Like, oh, I'm just going to throw it up there, let JJ take it. JJ Watt is not the force that he used to be.
No.
I mean, you're talking about a guy with multiple surgeries, back surgeries, like all kinds of stuff. Like, I love the guy. He was a terror. But I the best thing he could do too, it's another one of those guys, get out of town. Get out of town. Get out of town.
I think for his I'll tell you this. You're right, but for his health and and just for his overall legacy, get the hell out of Houston.
Exactly right.
Because somewhere else, you don't have to be the guy, bro. You
Right.
don't have to be the guy.
Right.
And I think that it's about his motor. He's that good of a player.
Yeah.
So when they talk about having a high motor, they mean somebody who's go all the time. He's going to give you everything he has every single play. Or at least his best, his very best every single play. And that's JJ Watt. And if you think about how Houston, their past the years with JJ, they've had underachieving teams. You know what I'm saying?
With talent,
and he's taking a beating. So for me, I love JJ, but he needs to get the hell out of town. Armando Lara Jr. again. When Romo was saying Detroit should be rushing, they have to get the plays off within 7 seconds, and Detroit was walking up to the line with no sense of it. Yeah, absolutely. Romo's telling him what the hell. Romo's saying, he's like, why is nobody
Wait,
running?
who?
Why? He's like, Tony, you know who he is.
Who?
that guy that had
the guy on the Corona commercials.
Exactly, the Corona guy.
Oh, that guy.
The Corona guy. So he was going, Tony was going, and he's saying, why aren't they rushing up to the line? Why do they not give a shit? This, Thanksgiving has become Detroit's Super Bowl, and they didn't even want to play in this game. You know what I mean?
Let's see that maybe Detroit's tanking, wants to dish Stafford and grab a Trevor Lawrence, which I'd be much happier seeing Trevor Lawrence go to Detroit than I would New York Jets.
Yeah, I think they'll get rid of. I mean, I don't think I think they trade Stafford. I think if they end up losing and getting a high pick, they could trade Matt Stafford.
Well, hey,
you don't want to think about that because he's your all-time leading.
I want to think about it.
But think about that. You trade Stafford, you got froze all ugly. If you trade Stafford, you could get enough back to put you right in position with a rookie quarterback to draft in the draft. You can put yourself in good position for that year or the year right after to be in a spot to contend.
Yeah, and dude, I'll tell you what. At this point, man, send Matt Stafford down to Tampa. Because I'm telling you what, it's not working down there. I don't care. You could throw everybody out there. You could throw the Madden all-time team out there.
If you send Stafford anywhere, I would
Denver. That's where he needs to be.
Denver. Matt Stafford in Denver would be awesome.
Yes.
Matt Stafford in Denver would be John Elway.
Yeah.
He'd be the equivalent to John. I mean, and I'm saying that talent-wise, not actually. Talent-wise,
right.
Talent-wise, hell yeah. Matt Stafford, you could compare to John Elway. But in overall athleticism, maybe I'll give it to John. But as far as being a quarterback, shit, that's
the cannon, just the cannon alone.
Just the cannon alone. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah. Now your deep routes are just elementary to him because the dude's arm is just so live that it's that dude could throw 60 yards. It's like it's nothing. You know what I mean? The guy is just it's effortless. You know what I mean? And I think with the young, well, I'm talking Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, the young receiving core of Denver. That could, because he's used to having that tight end, and you saw it today. Hawkinson was the standout.
Oh yeah.
Hawkinson was a standout, so he's used to having that tight end there. So I would love to see Matt Stafford, but if I'm Detroit and that's your game plan, I'd much rather see Trevor Lawrence go to Detroit than the New York Jets, and that's just caring about a person.
Yeah, seriously.
In New York, dude, I'm sorry, man. Where do you start? So you get a quarterback, and then you want to David Carr him. You know what I mean? You're and then you have no defense, and then you have no, just
traded all the way your best assets.
At least
all your best assets to get this guy, and now you have nothing. It's like Rick Williams.
Yeah, no, but I mean, everybody knows it. There's not much to talk about Detroit. Detroit has been Detroit. Detroit. It looks like they're going to continue to be Detroit. But I mean, I'm sorry. The Patricia era has to be over.
That has to end.
Coordinator, great. Coach, not so much.
Not so much. Matt Stafford finished the day 28 of 42, 295, a touchdown and a pick, and those it was the turnovers. The thing that spelled the Detroit Lions was their turnovers. The fumbles killed them because the fumbles were within the red zone. The pick, I'll live with the pick because it was just a great play by a great player. Yep. I'll live and die with the pick. But the fumbles, you put the ball on the ground, my running backs putting the ball on the ground, that shit does not fly with me.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean that you can't have it. I mean, obviously turnover spell loss every time. I mean, that's a huge thing. Third down and turnovers are the deciding factor of your football game. And if you can't do either of them, or you're giving one away and you can't convert, I'm sorry, dude. It's not going to translate to W's in the NFL. It doesn't work like that. And Detroit was given another gift right back. Like they turned it over, bam, next play, boom. Houston turns it over right there, bam. That's got to be points.
That's got to be points.
It's just that the Detroit Lions are not equipped. I don't know if that's personnel or in coaching, but there's somebody somewhere is on that Detroit. It just nothing can come together in Detroit is what it is. It's either one thing is great. You go back to the days of Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was great. The offensive line was obviously decent. Barry Sanders went crazy. Then you had the days of Calvin Johnson, but then they didn't have a defense to help him out. So it's like Detroit always has somebody, but they can't, for whatever reason, they cannot put the rest of the puzzle together.
Right. Patty says, happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe, stay well. Happy Thanksgiving, Patty.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, Patty.
So for me, and you're right, Detroit is Detroit. Detroit is Detroit. But you can't just say that. Like if you're this franchise, if you're running this franchise, you can't just be like, oh well, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep at this with Matt Patricia and just we're gonna stay the course. No, the course has been off course for a while. Now it's time to go ahead and put an emphasis on getting some serious players in here. You need to get some serious talent within these walls, because if you're going to continue to be this like, all right, we're gonna try to, it's like almost on the fly rebuild. You know what I'm saying?
It's like that every year,
and it's like that every single year with Detroit. Like they're just trying to throw pieces that, oh yeah, we could do it with this guy, we could do it with that. Like no, you need guys that can actually make the play, run the plays that you want to be called. Some dude. Guys you don't have the running game to have the passing game that you want to have. You don't have the balance that you need to find success in all phases of the game. You don't have that balance.
And they've been close, man. Like they had Slay, they had what was my man the defensive end dang, what's his name?
Ziggy
Ansah. You had him. You had some players there, but then you thought, oh well, let's just abandon that and get whatever they got. I mean, like it obviously didn't transition.
They just started getting they just started rotating.
It's like a turnstile. It's like a turnstile.
No. What I think is that they went the Bears route. They got afraid to pay people.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They started getting afraid to pay people. And they go send guys out, and they think they could just plug them in. If you're constantly getting rid of all pros, what the hell makes you think you could just go ahead and find an all pro on the street? I don't understand that. You draft them. First of all, you draft them, and then you get rid of them because you don't want to pay them.
The storyline to the NFL is this, and I'm starting to learn it more. Like I've known it for a little bit, but I mean it's becoming abundantly clear now. Is you have and this goes into Nagy too, but this is I'm talking NFL across the board. It's what can you do for me now type of stuff. So they're get a guy and he doesn't have a good year, so he's gone. You know what I mean? And it's not just really where it starts is at the top. You have football guys that put together football teams, and then you have other teams that are like want to be the hey I told you so. Like, hey, I told you that guy was going to work.
Smartest guy in the room.
Right, exactly. And that is becoming the biggest deficit of the NFL's legacy. I mean, it's like you have these owners and these GMs that are just for whatever reason, they don't want to get they don't understand role players.
Yeah.
That's the problem, I think. It's like they don't understand when they have a guy that's a high motor on the field, just a guy that shows up. He may not be the best dude on your team, but he's a guy that's crucial. He's the guy that will let your best player be the best player. You know what I'm saying? Like there's guys you have to account for.
Complementary players.
Perfect example I would say right now would be Danny Trevathan to Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
I feel like Roquan and Khalil Mack are better than Trevathan, but Trevathan is a guy that's a role player. He's going to be there. He's going to show up. He's going to do it.
He knows he knows his job. He's going to be there.
Exactly.
He's going to be in his position because he knows his role on the team.
Exactly. And teams, and I feel like teams stray away from guys like that. It's just like Quan Alexander. I really miffed as to why Tampa got rid of him. I loved Quan Alexander.
And now he's in New Orleans.
He went to the Niners, and then now he's in New Orleans. Like Quan Alexander, like, man, dude, it's just like I feel like that's the problem. Is it just with society, how everything is like now I can get it on my phone, like I can do whatever I want now. NFL teams are starting to go that route and be like, if you can't do it for me this year, bam, get out of here.
Get out of here.
And that's not what builds a team. Like you have to build a team. You have to have a guy that's a blue collar guy.
It's player for me, for a lot of them, it's player development. Like some of these teams just never develop talent. Like they just have a hard time developing talent. And then you'll see some of that talent leave some of these teams, go somewhere else and be a freaking all pro.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead and be a pro bowler. Like or not even that, just be a solid football player after the fact.
Right.
I see this all the time with NFL teams, and it just goes to show is like, are they putting enough emphasis on their player development, or are they just throwing money at shit?
Well, and a lot of that too is I feel like and I don't mean to pick on the Bears, but I mean like at some point you could blame Nagy, you could blame Pace, but I'll tell you what,
I will.
Well, no, yeah. here's what I'm gonna tell you. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Who the fuck is the scout that's out there telling you to draft this guy? Why? Who's your scouting? Like what? You watch Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and then you went and watched Mitch Trubisky play probably Wake Forest or some weak ass football team, and like, oh yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy. Are you serious?
Not a guy who went to 2 national championships and won.
Exactly.
Against the best college football team in the past.
Smartest guy in the room.
Half century. So it always has to be the smartest guy in the room. And you know what? Like I said, it's not picking on him. It's absolutely right. Like you didn't develop none of your players came to fruition. Like majority of your first round picks have been just garbage.
Yeah.
Majority of your second round picks have been garbage. Your third and fourth, I mean, from the third round on, yeah, fine, you're good. But the big time talent, the talent that would put us over the edge, is in the first and second round, bro. You need to be able to draft
strategy.
In the first and second round, bro. Like
it's strategy.
The thing, no, that's the thing. See, now that you brought up the position, now I'm hot. Because you brought up the pitch. Now you got me because you brought up the pitch. When you go ahead and draft these guys, you're talking about, I'm going to go ahead and get the best player available. Is it the best player in your head, or is it the best player on the board? Is it the best player is it the best player for you, or for your team, or is it the best player available?
That's where we're at.
What pisses me off.
That's where we're at in the NFL, and I'm telling you, like you could watch it like across a ton of different teams. Look at Miami. Miami, I can tell you, is another one. The Jets. I mean, like there's plenty of teams out there.
The Miami Dolphins though have been better. Like they've gotten better.
Oh, of course.
But for a while there, it was like, who the hell are you drafting, bro? Like you go ahead and you drafted Jarvis Landry. Who's gonna throw to him? You know what I mean? Like who's that?
But like I said, these are teams that have drafted people. Like look at the Jets. Jamal Adams. Why are you not building around that guy? Beef up your secondary. If you ain't got the pass rush, the best thing you can do next is build your secondary. If you don't have the pass rush and you can't get to the quarterback, get the guys that can make the play on the ball behind them. It's like they want to draft one guy and make everybody better. It doesn't happen like that. You have to get one guy, let him be your cornerstone, and build off of him. And I'll tell you where you're going to see it next. If the guy can stay healthy, where you're going to see it next, where they're going to build that cornerstone on defense is the San Diego Chargers are going to start building heavy around Derwin James, and you watch
yo.
that San Diego Chargers defense come alive.
Yo, the Chargers should be the San Diego Chargers, right? Or the LA Chargers. They're the LA Chargers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The LA Chargers should be in contention in the West. They should. Like Justin Herbert has come out of the scene. I know it's his rookie year, and we'll see how he is in his second year. But that team has been in every single game. You know what I mean? They let it slip away through. The LA Chargers and the New York Giants are very similar in those aspects. They've barely lost some of these games. You know what I'm saying? Literally, the Giants had maybe 3 games in a row where they lost by 3, 2, and 1 points. Right. You know what I mean? That's insane. So like the Chargers are on the rise. I know they're on the rise, but you're right. If they go ahead and they build around their best players,
that's what you got to do.
Around their best players, you could find success there.
Those are the best teams. The teams with the guys that call the shots. Like look at that Tampa Bay defense from like 2002. And I'm just bringing it up just because it's my team. But I mean, like, look,
we won the Super Bowl.
Well, look, we got Hardy Nickerson. We had Hardy Nickerson, right? Badass in his own right. Then what they do? They went out and got Derek Brooks.
Right.
And then they got Warren Sapp. And then they got Rondé Barber. And then they got John. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it starts with you have to build a cornerstone. You're not just going to go out and draft the best defense the world's ever seen in a draft. You know what I mean? Free agency may play a little part of it, but you have to find guys that are football guys that are like – I think Washington was on the track, and one of my favorite players of all time was Sean Taylor. And I like that defense could have got ugly too with having a big hitter out back like that. And I think the Raiders – I think the Raiders are onto that.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's exactly what they did. They're just – you gain draft capital. Give me picks. And,
right.
then you take the best player available. You draft the best players to have the best type of competition. That's how you do it. You get the best guys with the highest motor that want to win. Throw them against each other and see who comes out on top. That's how you go ahead and decide which is the best player for your team. That's how you do it.
Yeah, right? I mean it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you know, drafting is always 50-50, you know, maybe the guy works out, maybe he doesn't. I mean, that's the lay of the law. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Like you could look at Laquan Treadwell, a stud in college, came into the NFL, nothing. And then you get guys like DK Metcalf that nobody wanted to pick, and now look at him. You know, so it's a really, really fine line. You know, it's tough, but I mean, like you got to understand, you got to say, hey. First of all, do we want to be an offensive juggernaut or do we want to be a defensive powerhouse? You need to pick a side of the ball where you want to start.
Well, either way,
and once you start, you have to continue to build.
Either way, I think if you pick one side of the ball, it starts on the line. That's period. If you pick one side of the ball, you have to start on the line. You have to. And if they go ahead and they try to rebuild, like this is my thing. If they go ahead and they try to patchwork this shit in the offseason, offensive line is the most important position you can go ahead and address. It will literally change who this team is.
Right.
It can literally if we had talent on this offensive line, we wouldn't have 5 losses. I guarantee you that. With the defense that we have, we wouldn't have 5 losses. Even with the lack of talent at the quarterback spot, we would still find success.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have that.
Well, you're about to find success because I'm gonna tell you what. I've been calling it for 3 weeks now. Chicago's going into Green Bay and beating Green Bay. Period. I promise you that. I'm telling you.
Now that they got Mitch, maybe the running game will open up a little bit more. I'm not saying we're gonna beat them. I'm not saying I think we're gonna take a huge L. But with Mitch, the ability to run 40-something yards downfield, like he did in that Atlanta game, had a 40-yard run right before he gets pulled.
Mm-hmm.
What did you expect to get out of Nick Foles with a piece of shit offensive line like this? What did you expect with a guy who can't move? What did you expect to get? A solid. I mean, they did well against a bad Atlanta Falcons defensive front. I mean,
bad Atlanta Falcons defense. Period.
They came back on a bad Atlanta Falcons team. Now that you see that, maybe you should have let Mitch take that bad loss. Maybe you should have let him learn from that shitty loss.
Yeah,
Go into the next week and find success. Matt Nagy just wanted it. He wanted the aha, I got you moment.
Yeah, no, I think,
and then look where we're at now.
I don't, this is just me, but I've never been a huge fan of changing a quarterback in the middle of a game.
No,
I've never been a big fan of that. Like, does it work sometimes? Yeah. Does it fail sometimes? Yeah. I mean, it's a 50, there's so many double-edged swords in the NFL. But I mean, stick with your guy, man. I mean, if that's the case, you're like, Nagy, and then week 8, 9, 10, Nagy's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna call the plays. Well, guess what? Maybe I think,
it's all
and this is exactly. It's never taking accountability, but you want to preach that to your players. It's a piss poor leadership role, because and I told you at the beginning of the season that this was going to happen. They were going to get into this jumble of, okay, here it goes, and then now this guy sucks, and then you got to look like an asshole and be like, all right, now we got to go back to the first guy.
You already made yourself look like an asshole. You already made yourself look like an asshole because you were like, oh yeah, Mitch is the guy, and then week 2, it was one bad. Maybe he missed it on a deep ball to Anthony Miller, and he misses on and he threw a bad pick.
Yeah.
Look it, man. You were gonna take an L regardless. Why not let it be early in the season and around week 4, week 5? Yeah. If he continues this horrible play, then you go ahead and make the move. He just wanted to be the smartest guy. He wants his offense to work so much that he's willing to do whatever it takes. Like even if it was working. Even if it was working, he was still willing to do whatever it takes because he wants it to be an offense that scores 30+ points, so he could look like that offensive genius. I understand that. Like, this is your play calling. These are your plays. I understand wanting to find success. But coach, when you don't have the talent, what should you do? Adjust. You should adjust to the talent that you have. There's been worse teams that have found success because they made adjustments. I don't understand why your head coach doesn't understand that his talent on his football team is everything. It's everything to your plays. It's everything to the success of the team. And if you can't find the best, if you can't take out the best of your players, you're just going to be a mediocre ass team regardless.
Well, here's what Nagy wanted the Foles Magic statue outside of Soldier Field, the one that they got in Philly. That's what he wanted. That's what he thought he was getting. That's what he thought. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but like the Nagy era has to end. It has to end. But we were talking about assholes, so I would like to talk about another one. And his name is Jerry Jones and his Cowboys. And that is the next game. And we're going to see if these Cowboys, they played the Vikings tight. They played them real good. That was actually a great game if you like running backs. Like that was a great game. We even talked about this beginning of the season. Like Cowboys, like the Cowboys looked amazing. Like on paper.
Like my Super Bowl picks were Colts Cowboys.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It was legit Colts Cowboys, and Dak, even though that defense was look, I didn't expect the defense to be that bad anyway.
No,
nobody expected their defense to be that bad, but the way Dak was playing, it didn't seem like it mattered. You know what I'm saying? And then you get Dak going down, and then it just all goes downhill from there. But I had them in the Super Bowl. I did Colts Cowboys.
I know.
Colts
Cowboys. We picked it. Actually, I still have it written down what our picks were. I'll have to go find that. We'll have to talk about that at some point. But Dallas. Here's the thing: the Washington Redskins, and this has been over the last like 5 or 10 years, or probably the last 5 years.
We're talking about the football team.
I'm talking about the Washington football team. No, I'm talking about the Washington Monolith. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, no, we're talking about the Washington football team.
It's gonna be hard forever.
Yeah, I know. It's you beat it into your head for like 40 years, and it's like how do I get rid of it now? But anyway, they've always had a heavy defense, and when I say heavy, I don't mean amazing. I mean big physical dudes. They have big. They always. I don't know what it is about Washington, but because I remember when Tampa would play them, it's like you could literally see it. It was just I'm stronger and bigger than you, and I'm going to enforce my will, and that's what they do. And now they've added Chase Young. They've got Ron Rivera, a very defensive-minded coach. Like you're starting to see the fruits. You're starting to see the fruits of their labor. You know, what I mean, like this defense is coming around, and this is and this goes back to what we were talking about. Ron has decided on the side of the ball. This is what we're going to do first, and then the rest will come. The rest will come, but we have to have this in order to make that. You know,
look, you get Ron. You get Ron something that they didn't get Lovey till late. You know, until it's probably too late. Was a quarterback.
Yeah.
You look. The defense is there. You have some meat. You have some fight on that defense. I think you need to go ahead and find yourself a quarterback quick.
100%.
Because that a quarterback with a defensive-minded team, a defensive team can work. I mean, if you have a competent one that could just do all the right things, right? Or the smart things. Well, not do all the right things. Do all the smart things. A team like Washington they could probably make a playoff run next year.
Yeah, no, and how much better would Terry McLaurin be with a good quarterback? I mean,
or just somebody throwing to him a consistent quarterback, somebody who's there, somebody who's in they're throwing the passes to him all the time, because it's been a carousel of quarterbacks for Washington as well. Yeah,
no, man, you ain't got to tell me. I've been watching, and I as a kid I can remember being. I don't even remember how old I was, but I was very young, like under 10 years old or maybe 10 years old. And I remember my mom was late coming home from work, and I was eating dinner at the neighbor's house, and I literally watched Joe Theismann's leg break live on national TV, and I almost threw up. It was that bad. I was like, ooh, like, oh, that was ugly. You know, and ever since then, they've just never had a guy. You know, it's just they've never had a guy. So, you know, they've made, you know, let's 86 the Dan Snyder era, because Dan Snyder's an idiot. Yeah. You know, he's an idiot.
Look, when he first came in, he made moves that were like, what the hell are you doing? It was just like he was getting like just big names. I remember he went out and got like Bruce Smith. He was getting he was just like getting giant names. And I'm like, these guys aren't necessarily correct for the system, or the coach isn't necessarily correct for this team. It was always something. Mark Rippon. And even Doug Williams was only a one-hit wonder himself. You know what I'm saying? Even though they won the Super Bowl, they never had a guy.
Exactly, and it's unfortunate. Like, you know, there's like, I really feel like Washington's defense was about to take another step with Sean Taylor, and then tragically, you know, he got taken away. But I really feel like that guy, like, you know what? Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. If I build a defense, I'm going to build a secondary first. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but you know what? Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. If my pass rush can't get there, I want guys in the back behind me that are ball hawks. I want people that are making play. I want people that are sticking people. I want turnovers. I want all the good stuff that comes on the back end of a defense. Like I said, with the Jets, you know, it's all about. Like we just talked about, building that cornerstone. You got to have the cornerstone to build around.
It's what you said about Ron Rivera. He chose.
Yeah, exactly. It's a smart guy.
Ron chose. He said this. That's how we're doing it. It wasn't this. Oh, maybe we could do this with a little bit here with the offense and, you know, touch. No, it was this first.
Yep. Then he made a decision. He made a decision, and he stuck to it.
Right. And then he also pretty much made a decision on the quarterback. So Ron, I think Ron is the perfect guy because he's a decision maker first and foremost. He's not gonna you know, pussyfoot around things. Ron's gonna address. He's gonna address it. He's direct.
He's direct.
And a guy like that for a team that I'll say for all intents and purposes lost. A loss, like a wandering team. We'll say that. They're kind of just, who are they type of team.
He's a leader.
Yeah, he's a leader. So now you have a leader. Now you have someone to follow, someone to
believe in.
Yeah, someone to believe in, someone to show you the light, show you the way. That's the type of guy I want to build a franchise. I think they chose exactly the right guy in Washington.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. Like Like I said, Washington's going to be all right. Like I said, it's that quarterback position. It's been the one that's plagued Washington for a very long time. It's just like they just haven't had that guy.
Right.
They get Alex Smith back, which is great. Alex Smith is a game manager. Alex Smith is not going to beat you 60 yards down the field because he doesn't have the arm to do that.
Nope.
Eventually, Alex Smith is coming to the end of his career too as well. So, and believe me, I have no qualms about it that Ron Rivera is a football guy, knows football, knows talent when he sees it. And I'll tell you what, if Dan Snyder is not listening to this guy, then Dan Snyder is a damn fool. You know what I mean? Like Ron Rivera, and look what he did with the Panthers. Look what Rivera did with the Panthers.
Yeah,
with nobody. I mean, they got Kuechly, he got Davis. He started getting that defense playing, and it made it easier for that offense to work because that defense could get the other offense off the field and give the offense more time to operate.
Right.
So Ron Rivera is a very smart guy and understands the game of football. His defense, he's got him in the top 5 or top 5, top 10?
They're number 5.
Yeah, so they're in the top 5 defense. So he obviously has got that part under control. Now it's more of a thing of can we put points on the board, and then now he can start chasing these other guys and building an offense the way he would like to build it because the defense is going to be there.
Right.
So it's a very smart decision on him. I mean, that's probably Washington's best move in probably the past.
Ron Rivera.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's going to bode well for Washington come down the future. But yeah, as of today, I see Washington getting beat.
Yeah. Well, I got them winning this game. It's going to be a fun game. It's actually just started, so I'm going to go ahead and jump over on that. This has been the Basic Monsters podcast, guys. We're going to go ahead and get to you guys at the halftime of Washington versus Dallas, and then in the post of that. Until then, I'm
Happy Thanksgiving.
Luke Nettles. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. We'll see you guys at half.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
I just heard my favorite band is in town. I'd love to get good seats, but everywhere I've looked, the ticket sites have crazy service fees.
Haven't you heard of TixSplits?
Who?
TixSplits. They don't gouge you with crazy fees. The price they advertise is the price you pay, plus a small delivery fee.
Never pay service fees again. Go to TIXBLITZ.com today. TixSplits.com. Guaranteed seats, low prices. That's TixSplits.com. Every ticket, every venue, everywhere.